Turns out the Chicago police release, literally, they admitted it in the case, thousands of police officer photographs in any given year. They're all over the place. If a police officer is accused of misconduct and a journalist wants to see the picture for purposes of reporting and disseminating the information, they lock it down and won't give it to you.
That's exactly right. That's what they've done historically. The photographs are immensely important in drawing attention to a story. Well, in the old days in print, and even today, on the internet. When we post something on Injustice Watch, we somehow have to come up with some illustration to accompany it. And of course, there's no better illustration for police misconduct stories than photographs of the officers who have been accused.
Have you ever seen a newspaper story about a new allegation of police misconduct with the officer's photograph in the story? Never happens.
Never.
And
that's what we really wanted to change.
Right. They said to us after we filed the case, they said, we can't do that because officers are placed at personal risk when their pictures are out in the world. So we said to them, all right, well, you've got thousands of photographs out in the world, you admit that. Has a police officer ever been victimized by a threat or physical violence of any kind whatsoever as a result of this? And they said, oh yes, it happens. And we said, well, if it happens, there'd be a police report about that. And they said, well, there's no evidence whatsoever of a police officer ever being placed in harm's way as a result of his photograph being in the public realm. I mean, talk to us about how important it is to get those pictures out.
Well, I think it's immensely important, and this is not just a victory for me or for Injustice Watch. This is a victory for the media. It's immensely important that these photographs be made available, and unfortunately, the fact that we just won this lawsuit doesn't mean that they won't stonewall in the future and drag it out and make people go back in until we get some kind of a definitive policy from the city that these things that photographs of police officers are routinely available to anyone who asks. And that's what the situation ought to be.